Hey, I'm Srini, the creator of Maximize Your Output with Mem. Have you ever felt like you're juggling too many tasks, barely keeping track, and always playing catch up with your projects? Well, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to show you a solution that turns chaos into clarity and transforms the way that you manage projects. Discover how you can streamline your workflow, enhance collaboration, and stay on top of all your tasks with ease, all while managing an entire project from within a single note. So if you're ready to make project management a breeze, stick around. Now, let's get to the video.
Okay, so what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to go over step by step how to set up a project inside of Mem with the changes that have happened over the past couple of months. I know the previous video I did on how to manage projects in Mem was based on the old interface. So I want to do an updated version of this to show you how you can manage projects much more seamlessly inside of the new interface. And we're going to do this in 3 steps. The first step is going to be to create your project plan. Now, this project plan mem right here is basically going to be the central hub for the entire project. And it basically gives you all the objectives of your project. And the idea here is that you want to be able to track progress on the project from within a single note. So you can see here that the structure is set up in such a way that we have, what the status is of the project. For example, I tag any of the projects I'm currently working on as active. So that way, anytime I click on the active tag, I can actually just see a list of all the projects that are currently active. We can also put this into our projects collection. We'll talk here in just a second about why we're going to use collections. And then, of course, we have the project plan action steps as well as any related resources to this project. In this case, what we're doing is we're working on a hypothetical course on workflow optimization. So that way we had a concrete example to work with. So that is the first and most important step, is setting up this basic project mem. So that way you have one central repository for everything and you can manage the entire project from within a single note. But obviously you're going to have other notes related to this project, especially something like a course. We're going to have lesson plans, we're going to have outlines, we're going to have marketing material. So in order to manage all of that, one of the other things that we're going to do, which is step 2 here, is we're going to create a collection called workflow optimization course. And we're going to add our project plan to this collection as well. So why would we actually do a collection when we can just link everything here? Well, one of the reasons to build a collection for everything is because of the fact that often we're going to be adding more and more material to the course as we're building out this project. And in this case, it's a course. But with any project, that project is dynamic. So we want to be able to add related information very quickly. So for example, if you find some piece of research that you think could be useful for your course or whatever your project is, you can then just add it to the collection. So that way you don't have to remember to always put it here. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and add this to our outline or to our collection for the workflow optimization course. What else do we have here? We have a couple of book notes. I'm not going to add those for now because they're linked here. I'll be able to access them. And I also have a lesson. So now that's going to take us into the third step, which is using bidirectional links to add tasks. So you can see here that I have a task that says create and finalize workflow optimization course outline. And you can see there, this is my course outline. So the other thing we could do is we can add links to all of these different mems. Now, in this case, I already have a lesson 1 outline done. So I'm just going to go ahead and link that. But let's say you don't have a mem created. Well, one of the nice things about the way that mem works is rather than going through and creating a note, if you know what the tasks are and you know that a certain resource, for example, in this case, a lesson plan, is going to live inside of a task, we want to just create a mem for that actual piece of information. So you notice that I didn't actually name the mem, that name of the task itself. I separated the task action from the content because of the fact that I know this is something that I will want to use later on. And I may not necessarily be a task. So that way it doesn't get confusing. So now we have lesson 2, the role of AI in workflow optimization. So we can see here that we have lesson 1, introduction to workflow optimization, and lesson 2, the role of AI in workflow optimization. So the other thing we can do is we could have Smart Write and Edit actually do a sample of this outline if we wanted to. And we could say, write an outline for the workflow optimization course. And so now what it'll do is it will give me the outline using whatever knowledge I have in MEM that might be related to workflow optimization. And of course, it will make some assumptions. And I can make modifications to this as well. So you can see here that we basically have the basics of workflow optimization. So we're not starting with a blank slate. We can quickly start to fill in all of these different pieces of information. And then, of course, we're going to add this to our workflow optimization collection. We've added our outline to the workflow optimization collection. We've added our project plan. And let's say that we wanted to temporarily add some of these books to our workflow optimization collection as well. So what we could then do is I could just add the link workflow optimization collection or tag here. And so now when we go back to all of this, we've created our project plan, which was the very first and most important thing to do. We've created our collection, which is the workflow optimization course collection. And we have added a bunch of tasks using bidirectional links, but let's go ahead and add one more. We'll basically call this task draft promotional emails for workflow optimization course. And so here we now have the promotional emails as well. And we're going to go ahead and add this to our workflow collection. And so now it's part of the workflow optimization course collection. So here's the thing. The nice thing about this is if we click on the name of the collection, we can see every single thing that is part of that collection. So this is where adding things to collections for projects becomes a lot more useful because of the fact that we can basically put everything into one place. And even if we forget to add it to the mem for the project itself or to the note for the project itself, we can still know that, hey, this is related to this specific project. You can also see here that it makes recommendations for things that we might want to add to this collection, things that I haven't done yet. So for example, we created this lesson 2 mem, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to the collection as well. So now that's part of the collection. So when you combine all of these things together, when you combine the concept of creating a central hub for your project and then assembling all of it into the central hub and then putting every single piece of information into a collection for managing that project, everything becomes a lot easier because of the fact that you are able to access every single piece of information you need for that particular project from within a single note. And you can see here that we have all of our tasks. We have the overview. We didn't put in anything into the overview here, but here's where you would just have an overview of the project, what your success criteria are, deadlines, and anything else. And then also we bidirectionally linked all of these things. So even if we, for example, complete a task, we can still access the specific piece of information. So if I wanted to go back to the outline, you can see here that I can do that here. So in a lot of ways, this streamlines project management substantially. So just to recap, the first step is going to be to create your project mem, which is for whatever your project is, in this case, the workflow optimization course. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create a collection for that specific project. And as you gather material for that project, you just add it to that collection. In some cases, it's going to be linked to tasks with bidirectional links. In others, it's not necessarily going to be. But once you're done, you're going to have a comprehensive project plan all within OneNote, and it makes managing and navigating projects a lot more seamless and allows you to stay on top of your tasks. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.